I have a plea. Would you stop adding calcium chloride to saltwater swimming pools, please? I started off in the swimming pool industry. I'll give it to you, it was a long time ago. I studied under a lady by the name of Deirdre Dobson. It was 35 years ago when I did this. And she explained to me a whole lot of the systems of how water balance and swimming pool water chemistry works. She taught me all about the Langmuir index and the saturations and the TDS and all these things. Basically, to thin it all down, to dumb it all down, you can add calcium into your water, or you can add bicarbonate into your water in order to make the water not hungry anymore. The very base level of water chemistry, the reason we're putting chemicals in is because a lot of swimming pools actually have reactive surfaces, let alone us, our eyes, our eyeballs and so forth are reactive surfaces. If there's not enough chemical in the water, it will by nature draw it out. So if you've got unbalanced swimming pool water with no saturation index, no calcium or no total alkalinity in it, it will be hungry water. So everywhere it'll go, it'll make your eyes sore, and like for a marble sheen finish or the grout between your tiles, it'll draw the chemicals out. It'll draw calcium and different things out because it wants to dissolve it. So what we do, we add chemicals in. We add, in the old school, we had sodium bicarbonate is the main thing, which is pH buffer, the total alkalinity increaser. It's got a billion names now, but chemically it is sodium bicarbonate, and that stops the water from being hungry. We also used to add a little bit of calcium chloride, but that was in the days back before saltwater chlorinators became really popular, because we have got to stop adding calcium chloride to saltwater pools. I'm back in the pool industry now, and I'm shocked at the lower level of understanding of water chemistry that's around now, at least in the city I've been coming to. Sodium chloride, that's salt, that's what we put in a saltwater pool, and the saltwater chlorinator pulls that sodium chloride apart, turns it to sodium hypochlorite, which is liquid chlorine. That sodium hypochlorite hits the germ, the sunlight breaks it down, whatever, it turns back to sodium chloride. You go chucking calcium chloride into that system, calcium chloride goes through your saltwater cell and it just plates out on the cell. It doesn't make chlorine, it doesn't do anything pretty, it just plates out on the cell. You should never, ever be adding calcium chloride to a saltwater swimming pool. In some really, really rare cases, when you do have to have a little bit of calcium, you can add it, but add calcium carbonate, not calcium chloride. It's much more stable as it goes through the saltwater chlorinator. Now, what I've been finding is that you're seeing here all these shots of pimples on swimming pool walls. There's a couple of different pools here. And the simple fact is, you get too much calcium in a pool, it starts to form out on the side, be it a pebble pool, be it a painted pool, be it a vinyl pool, be it whatever. And if you get a hard, scratchy edge, like if you get into a swimming pool and it's sharp, like you graze up against it and it grazes you or cuts your skin, it's probably because there's calcium plating out on the side. Too much calcium is a common problem, particularly in saltwater chlorinated pools, because it'll just end up plating out on the cell. So, my plea, number one, stop adding calcium chloride to swimming pools, particularly saltwater chlorinated swimming pools. If you're going to raise the water balance, get your total alkalinity up, run it all the way to 160 parts per million if you want, and the calcium, just run it at a lower level. We used to be throwing calcium hypochlorite, that's your standard granular calcium-based chlorine, into a swimming pool, into an above-ground pool, and it was all fine. But then that situation doesn't have a saltwater chlorinator on it, so it's fine for the calcium level to be building up in that instance. But it's not fine. I'm sorry, it's just coming across it again and again. Pool shops got computer programs, whiz-bang computer programs spitting out saying put calcium chloride into saltwater pools. It's never needed. This swimming pool you're looking at now, I've actually had to empty this swimming pool and do an acid wash on it. That's one of the ways of getting calcium out of a swimming pool. Actually pump all of the water out, empty the pool, and then acid wash the walls. You've got to be super careful doing that for all the reasons of emptying the pool, that it doesn't pop out of the ground, and all the reasons of handling acid. And washing a pool, obviously it's diluted, but it's still a very strong and full-on situation. That's the most severe way, and because this pool also had a lot of staining and rust spots, that's the way we went, to empty it out and get it right back to spick and span nice again. The other way to lower calcium in a swimming pool, you can actually put in heaps and heaps of sodium bisulfate and sodium bicarbonate. They're sold as soda ash and pH buffer. And you get the pH in the total alkalinity of your swimming pool water really, really high. And that'll actually force the calcium out of solution, out of being dissolved, and make it settle down to the bottom. You can do that, raise the pH and total alkalinity really high, leave it for a couple of days, it'll all settle down the bottom, have your filter off, and then turn your filter on and vacuum the pool out to waste. So all that calcium will sort of settle down, some in solution and some may actually even see a white on the bottom of the pool, and you can vacuum that out to waste. Whatever you do, don't vacuum it through your sand filter, because that calcium will turn your sand to concrete inside your filter and you'll never be able to get it out. Yes, I've been there as well. So that's one way. The other way is the opposite. You can actually, if you've got calcium marks and calcium forming on your swimming pool, you can what's called acidify your pool, and that is like chuck in a large dose of acid. A normal 50,000 litre in-ground swimming pool, you would even put up to 5 litres depending on the size of it, and that acidifies it, and that will, you can then brush the walls and it'll dissolve the calcium again off the walls, and then you can do that procedure where you put in a heap of pH buffer and a heap of sodium carbonate as well, and that'll raise, that's the soda ash and the pH buffer, that'll raise the pH up and cause all of that then to drop out to solution. You can vacuum it to waste. Now, of course, again, the simplest way, if you want to get 50% of the calcium level out of your water, this won't get it off the walls, you simply pump 50% of your water out and replace it with tap water. Now, provided you're not on groundwater where there's a lot of calcium in the supply water, that will help and will lower the calcium as well. But there it is, there's my rant, there's my rave. We have got to stop putting calcium chloride in saltwater pools. It is not needed and it's not helping anything, and it's actually causing a lot of damage to swimming pools.